first I'm a Celebrity has had its fair share of controversial campmates over the years, and it looked like last year's series was going to be cool, calm, and collected. That was until our next guest rocked up.
I'm alive! Yeah! Oh, cheers, everybody. What planet is this, all right? You need to ask somebody who gives a wet slap. It's silly, girly stuff. Whether it's a show or not, we all have feelings.
The thing that pisses me off is somebody saying, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. Because you sound like the boring kid at the back of the class who's always sticking his hand up. Stop fanning that thing, it's a light. Go and get the water.
Just out of nowhere, Danny just absolutely laid into me.
Danny seems to just have it in for me, and I don't know why. I felt like I took something.
Yes, I will!
He's like a little knight in shining armour.
Here to tell us if he's made peace with his ex-campmates, Martin Roberts. Get in here!
Hey! Well, morning, afternoon, evening, hiya! How are you?
Good. Hello, Mark. How are you?
That just took me back. Oh my golly, I haven't seen some of those clips for about
How'd it
6
feel
months.
watching it back?
Yeah,
How'd it
it's really interesting. When I watched it
Do you
for the
want
first
a
time,
box of tissue?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. When I watched it for the first time, my wife looked at me and said, "Are you okay watching this?" And I said, "Yes, but only because I know the outcome."
Yeah.
You know, and so by the time I watched the box set, I waited quite a long time before I watched any of it, but when I finally watched it...
But you did have a good time.
It was amazing! Yeah, no,
it wasn't
fantastic.
all down and blue.
No, it was a truly outstanding experience, one of life's best. It was amazing. Well, you know, you were there and you've done it. It's an incredible
Well,
thing to
you
do.
actually, all three of you have
Yeah,
done
of
the
course.
show, and,
Yeah.
and surely the lows are just as important as the highs when you're in there. It's all part of the journey.
Do you realise that everything that's happening in the show is so highly edited? So what the scenes that might seem quite unpleasant and, you know, quite highlighted in the broadcast version, actually when you're in the jungle, a lot's happening.
It has. I mean, bear in mind there's 100 cameras filming 24 hours a day, and they're going to make a show which only lasts 40 minutes. So you get little nuggets of what your day, and you might say something just off the cuff, and it's forgotten. And then when you get home, you realise it made front page news.
Yeah.
It's like, holy mackerel. And so when people say you are sort of sticking your head above a parapet when you do it, they're absolutely right. But I felt, probably like you guys did, very privileged. I mean, there's only over 200 people have done I'm a Celebrity. There's 800 people working on the show. It's the nearest thing I will ever get to being in Hollywood. It was amazing. Being able to get to see him.
Did you feel that vulnerable when you went in, because you went in halfway through, but you seem to feel like you couldn't make friends straight away, but actually everyone really loved you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was always that sense that I'd seen the group just a little bit beforehand, and they were all so close knit, and it was all lovey-dovey, and they were giving each other massages, and then me and Danny turn up, and it sort of rattled things around a bit. But they very carefully, obviously, planned it that when Danny and I went in, they then separated the group out into two teams. So there was immediately there's going to be frictions and things that weren't before. So it wasn't just me and Danny, but obviously we played our part in shaking it up a bit.
Do you think you learned anything from the experience about yourself that you've taken away?
Oh, completely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And things to me, well, one of the biggest things for me was how in a short space of time you can make huge changes to your life. Like in the course of 2 weeks, I lost 2 stone. I got rid of a lifelong thing of asthma. And it was partly due to the not drinking. It's partly due to the simple foods we were eating. But it just got me thinking, and in fact, it's led on to something which I'm really proud of, set up, which is an exhibition called Achieve, looking at how you can change your life in a relatively short
So this was a
amount of time.
direct result of your experience in the jungle?
Well, what struck me wasn't that big changes happened to me, and I think it happened to quite a few people who go into the jungle. It was the time that it took. 2 weeks, and I got rid of childhood asthma, right? And now don't carry my inhaler. I carried a blue inhaler, you know, for 53 years, and now I don't.
But are you living on rice and beans?
No,
I have to ask, any bush tucker trials in your household?
But I am actually eating slightly differently. So I started looking into the world of health and nutrition, and it's almost like it's a new science, things like gut health. You know, where they reckon that your body's made up of like 10% human and 90% sort of bacteria and all those other things. And if you look after that, then it can really affect not only your health but also your mental attitude. two.
That's right.
So,
Your body has two brains, this brain and that brain.
yeah,
and you need to look after
but
both of them.
That's relatively new that people have started thinking like that,
Yeah.
you know? And so I started looking into how could I have been in there for 2 weeks and had all these changes happen to me so quickly. And then I started researching it and finding out this new world of thoughts about mental attitudes and things like that. And that's why I came with this idea for this exhibition.
So it's called Achieve.
Achieve, because I think most people want to achieve something.
Yeah.
And it's achieve better health, achieve better happiness, achieve financial sort of stability. So I've brought together a sort of people who I think are at the top of their tree in terms of people who have achieved, people like Sir Ranulph Fiennes, people like Ruby Wax, Frank Bruno, obviously you had him on here last week.
Yeah.
He's talking about the mental side of things. I think, again, with the princes coming out and talking about Diana and the work that charities like Mind do, who we're supporting at this exhibition, the mental health is becoming much more sort of talked about, if you like.
And you've been very candid about your own personal issues and things, like you suffered with hair loss, didn't you? And you've been really open about that.
Yeah, I had a hair transplant about 5 years ago, and I didn't tell anybody about it because I was really almost embarrassed. I think bald people looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I just I didn't like going bald, and it was sort of, I think I just didn't like seeing it on camera. My hair, the sort of top of my head going thing. So I went and had a hair transplant. I didn't tell anybody about it, and I thought, why was that? And then afterwards, I thought that's ridiculous. Guys should be able to say this is. It's like any cosmetic surgery, whatever you think of it. If it's your body, basically, you should be able to do what you want with it, really, within reason.
You talk about changes, but as a result of being in the jungle, do you think that you can put up with people who annoy you better? Because that was my big challenge, and I can honestly say no.
It's isn't it? Because a lot of the stuff that happens in the jungle, it's just like a microcosm of life, isn't it? You get people, but the thing is, you're all rammed together and you can't get away. Now, if you met somebody you didn't particularly like, or they didn't particularly like you, you'd go to the other end of the party, or you wouldn't have anything to do with each other. In the jungle, you're all thrown in there. You can't get away, so you have to learn to deal with people, and people have to learn to deal with you.
So have you seen Danny since?
Well, actually, we got two new hamsters, and one's called Danny, one's called Larry, and we don't let them out much. No. I love the bit where we put them in the little plastic ball and just roll them down the garden.
If it's therapy and it works...
I'm joking, OK? RSPCA, I'm joking.
Martin, good luck with Achieve. It's fabulous to have a catch-up with you. It's Martin
Lovely to
Roberts.
talk
Thank you
to
so
you
much.
too.